Good morning, all. This is Kelsey, the Nyla, and Mommy Fun page. Just dropped off baby girl, heading into work, doing what I gotta do full time. Um, so before we get any further, like and subscribe. All my Lupus friends and followers, I appreciate it. All right, welcome back. So, getting started. Hadn't posted last week. It's been a very busy week. And in case you hadn't noticed, most of my therapy time or my little break time is in my car on my way to work or going to pick up my child, whatever I got to do. But the topic for this week, I want to go ahead and speak on it. It is the skin. I know last time I talked about hair, but this week I'm going to talk about skin. So, I hadn't really ever had problems with my skin as far as on my face. My face remained clear, but one of the first indicators that I noticed when being diagnosed with lupus was when I broke out in the hives. They were all over my face. And I'm not talking like little dime size or little penny size. I'm talking about silver dollar size, quarter size, all over my face. Eyes swollen shut, lips swole, one side of my face looked like a balloon. I mean, it was just absolutely horrible. So then it got to the point where it started, but it was in 2016 when I was completely diagnosed. But the hive situation started at the end of 2015. So let me remind you, 2016 was a very huge year for me. That same year, I graduated nursing school as an LPN. Hip hip hooray, I made it. Thank you, Lord. Then also, I will say, that was in April. That was a tedious experience. Very trying experience. But I made it, thank God. So then right after I graduated, here comes all these hives. Now let me remind you also that year, I was planning a family reunion in Charlotte with my family. I was also planning a bridal shower for myself. I was also planning a huge wedding with 350 people. I know my whole church was full. And it was at one of the most beautiful places, the Greek Orthodox here. Gorgeous. And had all that situated. And planning honeymoon time. So I'm all over the place. Hee hee ha ha. I just had basically too much on my plate. So, but I went on about it because 2016 was Kelsey's year. Well, the hives came back a month later, and they came back with a vengeance. Not only were they doing that, and I was having all that planned, I was also working 16 hours a day. So, that's 16 hours a day at work, planning a family reunion, planning a wedding, planning a bridal shower, making sure I have all my pictures and invitations. I literally was just all over the place. But thanks be to God, He brought me through it. I started breaking out in the hives every day. The closer and closer it got to my wedding. I broke out, started breaking out at work, having to be sent to the ER because my throat started closing up. I mean, it was just bad. And I couldn't think of anything I was really allergic to. So I go out to dinner, I break out. So I'm like, okay, now it's the food. Saw an allergist. He was saying, oh, I'm allergic to fresh ginger. Well, that strikes out my sushi and kampai and hibachi food. Even the smell of fresh ginger caused me to break out in hives. Then, of course, the dust and the molds, because I also have asthma. Then, lo and behold, here comes, after that, let's see, he went down the list of numerous things that I was allergic to. Green apples, so I couldn't eat the lovely apple pie anymore. I mean, it was just a mess. So I'm trying to stay away from these things, and the hives were still happening even when I was away from them. So didn't know what was going on. He did some tests, and he kept testing me, and he basically was like, I'm going to send you to a rheumatologist because your ANA antibodies are all over the place. Okay, yes, sir, I get it. I got you. I do what you say. Went to see a rheumatologist that he referred to me. Best rheumatologist in the world. I mean, absolute best. So now I'm going to the rheumatologist, and he just breaks it down to me because I'm like, well, what's going on? Is this another autoimmune disease? Because I already have thyroid disease. He says, yes, you do have lupus. Now, it didn't bother me at first because I'm like, okay, it's just lupus. And you know how you hear news and it doesn't register? For some people, it registers fast. It didn't register for me. So when it registered, I remember back when I was about 17 years old, my thyroid doctor had already said that my antibodies test was all over the place then. But I didn't think, anything about it. And he said, I believe you have lupus, or you have lupus. But I wasn't showing any flares or anything like that. So he said it wasn't nothing to worry about at the time. Well, I told that to the rheumatologist, and he was like, that definitely confirms it. So the issue with my skin, like I said, I'm still scarred from a lot of things. My doctor last week tell me that, it was cold sores on my mouth. And we know what cold sores are. It's a type of herpes simplex virus. And I told her, no, I know my body. I've had cold sores before, but this was different this year because it had never been like this. Well, still, she's saying her own thing, doing her own thing. She tried to write me a prescription for it and told me, well, this prescription does mess with your kidneys. Lady, are you kidding me? Does it look like I need anything else to go on? So she sent it anyway, and I didn't take it. I could see if it was really, really bad, and that wasn't the case. But the doctors just love to tell you where you're wrong at or where they think you're wrong. Okay, had to take a quick moment. But yeah, she tried to tell me that, and I know my skin. I know my body. And honestly, if your patient is trying to tell you something that they know about their body, it shouldn't be nothing else. It should be, how can I help you? So, like I said, I ain't never had scarring on my face. I've always had clear skin. And I had these big whelps come up on my lip. And it scarred. Left a scar on my face. I know it's tiny, simple, but it was much bigger. That's part of the reason why I hadn't been online. Because I don't show my face when I'm looking like that, for one. But the other thing is, I tolerated, hearing what she said, but it's difficult when your own doctor is trying to tell you something different and. So, I've been noticing a lot of scarring once I break out in the hives now. It is so much different. Or the fact, now, if I, cut myself or bump something, it's hard for me to stop bleeding, and I'm not on any blood thinners. It's hard for me to, basically, get anywhere with it. It's very frustrating. I don't like bruising it easily. I still got bruises from when I was in the hospital in May. And like I said, I got some scarring on my body. I'm not gonna go there, but I got horrible bruises still from the hospital, like I was saying. And I just noticed little differences in my skin because, like I said, my skin has always been clear. But it seems like ever since I was diagnosed, everything has went the opposite way from the way it had been going. So, you just gotta pray and try to keep moving forward. But it's hard. It's very, very hard, especially when you're noticing things that are out of your norm. And it's small stuff, but them small things mean a lot. But I've learned, hey, everybody has their own private journey. I'm thankful for mine. Skin is skin. It's gonna scar, it's gonna bruise. Well, just any type of thing. But I had to learn that. And, it's okay now, but it had started getting to me at first. Especially when it was like, oh my goodness, I'm finna get married and my face looks like this. But needless to say, a lot of the reasons that I was breaking out like that, I wasn't helping myself because I wasn't giving myself any rest. But God has truly been good, and I don't take anything that He's done for me for granted. But just know your skin. It's it's hard to deal with, but you'll make it through. I make it through it. And it's okay to get emotional at times. Get that out your body. Cry, scream, holler, yell, whatever you got to do. Get it out. And, just keep pushing. We are fighters. We are. But it's truly been a blessing. And I think that the smallest things, that I used to worry about so much and took for granted, I'm thankful for now. Especially because, the first video I made was on the hair. That's something so small and minor. Or now I'm talking about skin. Very small and minor. Nothing compared to your life. Your life is worth everything. And I'm okay with dealing with that now. It took me a minute to get there, but I'm okay with that now. And God has shown me different things and opened my eyes to that. But just like I get through it, you'll get through it. What may bother you may not bother me so much, or what may bother me a lot may bother you. But it's okay. It's okay. We're going to make it through this. We're all fighters. I love you all dearly. And I know I ain't got nothing but probably 10 followers. But you share this video, and I hope it can be encouraging to someone else. Love you all again. Have a blessed day. Be safe. Be blessed. And, of course, keep your mask on. Thank you.